Welcome to Recording, the music segment of your favorite YouTube channel, Film Reel.
We talk music.
So you don't have to.
I'm Luke.
And I'm Luke.
Let's get started.
Intro.
When you believe in things that you don't understand and you suffer, superstition ain't the way. To be my girl, you don't have to be cool to rule my world. Ain't no particular sign I'm more compatible with. I just want your extra time and your kiss.
So today we're going to be talking about two very famous artists in honor of Black History Month. I'll be talking about Stevie Wonder.
And I'm talking about the artist formerly known as Prince.
Alright, now let's get into it. Starting off with some very basic information. Stevie Wonder was born on May 13th in 1950. He was born in Saginaw, Missouri.
Prince was born on June 7th, 1958 in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and tragically died on April 21st, 2016 in Chanhassen, Minnesota. Yeah.
So, Stevie Wonder, very soon after birth, he went blind. So, for his entire life, he has been blind. But at age 13, with his song Fingertips, he made a #1 song on the Billboard Top 10. Now, at age 13, he already knew 3 instruments. He played the drums, the piano, and the harmonica. He was very, very ambitious, still at a young age.
Yeah. Prince, he was born into a musical family. His dad, nope, that's not his dad. His dad's name...
Don't spin too much now. It's just the entire time.
His dad was part of a jazz trio called the Prince Rogers Nelson Jazz Trio. And he being Prince, got his name from that band. His full name was Prince Rogers Nelson. Kind of self-centered, but oh well. Yeah, and he had pretty normal upbringing, nothing too dramatic, nothing too traumatic, not really any issues like blindness or anything, but he really got into music, fell in love with it. I feel like when you're part of a musical family and your like parents are musicians, it's very easy to find yourself in music. So yeah.
Yeah, Stevie Wonder's music throughout his entire career, starting since he was 13 years old, has been fairly consistent in its style. He is a funk musician. He also incorporates aspects of soul music and rhythm and blues. So this includes having a variety of instruments, especially brass. And the main thing, especially just funk music in general, is a heavy emphasis on bass lines. One very popular song by Stevie Wonder is Superstition. This has a very, very recognizable bass line.
If you hear it, you know it's Stevie Wonder. Most of his songs, really.
Yeah, I mean, the bass really has a distinctive sound that sounds kind of like a spring.
Yeah. He emphasized it to the point where like you would know the song from the bass, and you would know that it's Stevie Wonder from the bass. Yeah. Prince always had he was never, towards the beginning of his career, he was never really like outgoing, dangerous, anything like that. But towards the end of his career, not towards the end, really, once he found himself, he got super flashy. All of the guitars were weird shapes, and the pianos were weird colors, and his clothes were like all over the place. And his music was a combination of like rock, funk, pop, new wave, and all this different type of music, all like very daring. And his daringness and his flashiness is really what inspired other artists. At one point, he stood up against record labels. He went on stage to perform and wrote "slave" across his face as a way to like show, and it was really just a big not publicity stunt. It was just a way to like bring awareness to the fact that like some record labels are almost like enslaving their people, saying like, look, we have this contract with you, you have to listen to us and everything. So he really he broke down those barriers and everything in his like journey through being himself.
Yeah. How about any other cultural impacts?
Culture impacts. He had a big culture impact on the like LGBTQ community. He didn't want to. He wasn't gay. He was a straight guy, but he because he was like very not do it yourself, because he was very like
Do what you want.
do what you want
Yeah.
type of guy. He didn't really care what other people thought. He wouldn't like share his opinions of people publicly. He was just happy that people were being themselves. He became a big symbol of the LGBTQ community. So yeah.
With Stevie Wonder, he also impacted society.
Of course.
He had a pretty heavy impact. A lot of his music had strong messages of equal rights. Because growing up, in the 50s and 60s, and even going to the 70s and today, there was a lot of racial tensions. So one of his famous songs, "You Haven't Done a Thing," really emphasizes how unfair it was for African Americans in America.
Not just African American, but African American and blind.
And blind,
Yeah.
yeah. Stevie Wonder is really, really an amazing musician and an amazing person. I mean, he learned 3 instruments at the age of 13 while blind.
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
both of our people were very good about like breaking down barriers.
Absolutely, yeah.
Doing stuff that never would have been acceptable, taking risks,
Mhm.
and being like big in all communities.
Yeah, and Stevie Wonder went on to win 25 Grammys, which he's up at the top. There's not too many people who've won more Grammys than him.
Yeah, Prince only won 7. He was nominated for 38, but only won 7.
Mhm.
Doesn't mean he's worse. Just means that he's not publicly better.
Yeah.
No, but there was at one point he had made a movie called Purple Rain, and there was a song called Purple Rain that was on the album for that. And then in the same like time period, like same few weeks or whatever, he made a single called When Doves Cry, and all 3 of those topped their individual charts for best biggest like box office and everything. Also top album and top single. So he managed to get all 3 of those down at once.
Wow.
So yeah.
Yeah, another big song by Stevie Wonder was My Cherie Amour. This is a huge song. It's still a huge song today. It's very recognizable. I remember one time I went to a little restaurant and I heard it playing. I was like, oh, I know that's Stevie Wonder. Yeah, is there another big song by Prince that we all know?
Purple Rain and Kiss were 2 of his biggest songs. Kiss was the one that we played in the intro, and that one was a very upbeat, very kind of like more rock and pop. Not super, a little funky, but mostly rock and pop. And then he also had Purple Rain, which was almost like a slow ballad. And both of which are like big songs for him. I think didn't he perform at like a Super Bowl a few years ago?
Prince?
Yeah.
I believe he did, yeah.
Yeah, he played Purple Rain, and it started like raining in the stadium and everything, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, this is the most amazing thing ever!" Because it's like it's Purple Rain and it's raining. And they had like purple lights shining, so it made the rain look like it was purple.
Wow.
And so yeah, the Purple Rain is really like rise to the top of his own like fame.
Yeah, and the song in the intro for the Stevie Wonder song, I believe is the first song he played.
Yeah.
That was Superstition.
Yes.
Now speaking of Superstition, Stevie Wonder actually aired in an episode of Sesame Street with the song Superstition.
Huh.
Which growing up on a lot of Sesame Street, that was really nice to hear.
Yeah. Prince was on SNL at one point.
Was he really?
Yeah, he performed on SNL and he accidentally dropped the F-bomb in one of his songs. He just slipped up and said the wrong word, and then they made a joke out of it because it was very noticeable. And the person who was like closing the whole show out came out and he was like, "Who the F did that?" And so everyone was like laughing about it. And that was actually the only time when someone said that word on SNL. In their entire history, those were the only 2 times when it's ever happened. So yeah.
Wow. I can't say Stevie Wonder's done that before. But a fun fact about Stevie Wonder is that at one time he got into a car accident and temporarily lost his sense of taste and smell. So at that time he lost 3 of his senses: his vision, sense, and sense of smell and taste. Yeah. Yeah.
just leaving him with touch and sound.
And touch and sound, yeah.
Which really is the only thing you need for musicians.
It really is, yeah.
Prince, at one point, he had his name changed from Prince to a symbol. So his name was it was like the symbol, the universal symbol for male, which is like the circle with the cross below it. And it was that with a little like swirly thing through it. And it was called Love Symbol Number 2. He did it when he started producing with Warner Brothers. And when he dropped Warner Brothers and left them, he lost the name too and went back to Prince. And it was such a big symbol and such a big like hymn thing that he had a guitar that was shaped like it, and there was a color that was named Love Symbol Number 2 that was purple. It was the same color purple as his piano and his guitar, and they changed the name to Love Symbol Number 2 in honor of him after he died. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, well, I believe that's all we got for you today.
One last thing.
Oh, one last
Do you have any quotes by him?
Yeah, Stevie Wonder, I think a quote that really defines his personality is, "You gots to work with what you gots to work with," which, I mean, growing up blind, but also becoming a huge star, playing 3 instruments, I think that really defines his personality.
Yeah, like being disabled but still having that, like, drive to make it.
Yeah, he proved that really, no matter who you are, like, no matter what things you have hindering your performance, you can do whatever you want.
Playing the piano without looking is something that you have to like learn a lot of over time. Like I know that I've been playing piano and you've been playing piano for a while now, and I still can't close my eyes and play.
No.
But no, it's really impressive to like see him play if you've ever like watched videos of him before. Prince had a quote that was, "I don't really care so much what people say about me because it usually is a reflection of who they are." And I think that right there is a reflection of who Prince is. Very, I'm going to do what I want. I'm going to be myself. If you have something bad to say, keep it to yourself. And I'm going to let you guys do whatever you want because he enjoyed people being themselves. He enjoyed expressing yourself in whatever way made you feel comfortable. I think that about wraps us up. If we end up doing this show again, we'll come back with like different time periods of music, different genres of music, different artists, whatever we end up talking about. We'll just see where it takes us. So for now, this has been Recording.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Luke.
And I'm Luke.
And we're signing off.